Hey, it's Sean, 2020 Vision. We're here to create dreams and breakthroughs, crush fear and distortion. I'm here with the Paula Lapis.
That's right.
By the way, this is take 2 because Paula got in her head a little bit, right? Which is really interesting. We're here talking International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day with an amazing group of women. We have Dolly, we have Simone. What's up? We have Tiffany by the camera, we have Tammy, and we have Paula. So powerful women doing awesome things. And we were discussing Zeus and Goddess energy and its role in making things happen, relating to people and making decisions and creating outcomes, right? And this is somebody who's not a woman walking on International Women's Day.
Come on in, Tom.
So that we're a little bit of that. So what we're discussing though, and this is really important. Paula's a tremendous salesperson. Was dropping F-bombs all over the office, and we got this like conversation about like what Zeus energy is and what Goddess energy is. Framing Zeus energy in a training I was recently in with Matt Johnston up at the Trillions Innovation session as like to decide, to cut off, like Zeus energy, not men, Zeus energy, Goddess energy. We're all connected and flowing. So my question, and then Paula, right, we're on camera, let's just be ourselves. Like, it's totally cool, right? So if we're chatting, just talk to me then. Forget the camera for a second. If you were going to, like, tell me, like, as a woman in business, and, like, connecting between your Goddess energy, which is connecting and rapport building, and then you have to step into your Zeus energy to make things happen. Would you agree with that statement?
I do agree with that.
Okay. How do you find, like, just think about it for a second. Do you find sometimes, as a woman, like, and you mentioned some people might call you the B word. This is like things that you were addressing. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, is that in your head, in your heart? You just don't care. Like, how do you get free of moving back and forth between those energies to connect and then to make things happen? Because by the way, it's not a men-women thing. Like in rapport buildings, I teach and talk about it. I'm in Goddess energy. It's deep listening, heavy empathy, wild connection. But then when you're going to move to agreement stage, which other people call closing, we don't talk about closing. Right? Like it's a manipulative concept, but it's still moving forward, making something happen, cutting off a possibility if that's not what's going to happen. We are going to move forward and create something or understand each other differently. How do you move forward, like back and forth between those energies? And is that something that comes up for you as it's International Women's Day?
Well, I want to explain something to
Please,
you, Sean.
talk to me.
First of all, I do believe that women are the stronger gender. And
Awesome.
I apologize if I'm being biased, but that's truly how I feel.
Awesome.
Only
Right.
because we have something that men don't. We're more compassionate. We're more sentimental. So we are able to get that feeling from someone we are doing business with, in a relationship with,
So
talking with.
I'm hearing deeper empathy,
Absolutely.
deeper listening.
So we can connect
Right.
better on a level. So sometimes when I walk into an environment full of men, I know that I have to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more firm in what
a
I'm
little more
saying.
Zeus-like.
Yes, I have to turn into Zeus. Whereas if I walk into a room full of women, then I'm a little bit more playful, more relaxed, and just because they understand and they just feel, there's that feeling.
So I'm
that
hearing,
goddess
I'm
feeling.
hearing
Yeah.
from you, with men potentially, right? A pattern interrupt. Like you're in your Zeus space because you show up as an attractive, energetic woman, and you're like, okay, there might be these preconceived notions. Then you're Zeus-like. Do you find then you move like back into some Goddess energy? Or you stay Zeus-like mostly. Have you ever thought about this before?
I did think about
Okay.
this before, and as soon as the men feel comfortable,
Like you disrupted their patterns.
I
They're like,
did.
Whoa,
So
right,
there's
right.
like, okay, so this is unusual for someone, as a woman, for
Yeah.
example, to be aggressive to their level and to be just as firm. So we're equating at eye to eye level,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
And it just gives me more of a leverage, and they're willing to open up more
Awesome.
and discuss things and lead us to a better business or friendship relationship, whatever the case may be, in what capacity we're working
Okay.
towards.
So, man, it's just a
So-
question. Thank you for that. We've, I think, related well, right? You said some very kind things.
100%.
Do you find that my listening empathy is atypical for a male? Honestly, like my listening and my empathy, like does that show up? My Goddess energy. Do you see that or do not see that?
I do.
Okay. I'm not asking for that, like you say that. I'm curious. Like that's a real question.
No, and I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
And I think that you are a very compassionate speaker. You try to cater, I shouldn't say try, you do cater to your audience, and you really have good listening skills, and you know how to work the room, how people are feeling, what they need to hear.
flowing connection, goddess energy.
You're connecting, yes.
Right.
You have that ability to do so. And you make people feel comfortable. You actually make people feel real and themselves. Like, for example, I feel that about Sean, and that's why I admire you for what you're trying to do and creating a difference in this world. And I really appreciate that, and all the effort, and just that you believe in people and you see their future in them. And that's something really admirable.
Well, thank you, and I see you the same way. But I think that, thank you. That's
You're
incredibly
welcome.
kind. I think the key takeaway on International Women's Day, right, is for men and for women. This is my hallucination. What if it's that balancing of those energies, whether we're male or female, at different points in our communication, which is what I really try to share in my integrity-based human influence model, is imperative. And that the world's greatest, like we both go to Tony Robbins seminars, right?
Correct.
And Tony can hit Zeus at the highest level, but don't you think he can also hit Goddess at the highest level?
Absolutely.
When he becomes vulnerable and he's like sharing what his growing up years were, he's empathetically connecting to
Correct.
a man or a woman from the audience. So I think congratulations on having wonderful powers in the space of integrity-based human influence, because I see that in you.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Sean.
and it's fun, and I just want to shoot a video. You said one final thing. You were mentioning that, which we do talk about, and hearing, Tony talk about it, the idea of pain driving human behavior. And it was really funny because I heard you, and this is going to be a very specific question, I heard you get very fired up about people maybe not having pain. And I'm not asking specifics, right? We're going to wrap up and keep the video short. But it seems like pain served you in your life. Like there was real pain that drove you. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Because you were upset when you mentioned a guest I had in a different video who you were hallucinating maybe didn't have pain. And it was more like, oh, everything's like perfect. But it seemed like you take even pride in what you overcame and what that taught you.
Absolutely. I just think that in this world, without pain, you can't move forward. In my case, I use the pain that I suffered at a young age to motivate me to be the person I am today. And I do believe that adversity teaches people to survive and creates just a path to differing their lives beforehand. And I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
And
Well, thank you. And I appreciate, by the way, I do compliment people frequently, but I never falsely compliment them. You can watch every video I do. Like, I compliment people on what and who they actually are.
Mhm.
And Paul, the way you show up is this like real sense of who you are in this world with humility, but you do step into your greatness. And on this International Women's Day, like, maybe we can invite and challenge all women, and I'll throw in there's a footnote, men too, to generally step into your greatness, but with humility, right? Like there's a balance of those two energies. And so you do a beautiful job at Paul, and thank you.
thank you, Sean. I
All right,
appreciate it.
have an amazing day.